And we're closing in on Election Day, and as part of our commitment to you, we have invited each gubernatorial candidate in to answer questions and help you decide who you're going to vote for. And joining us tonight is Republican Larry Hogan. Thanks for joining us, and I'll give you the floor. Those are the voters. Talk to them.
Well, thank you, Jamie. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be here with you. Look, I'm just a small businessman. I'm not a professional politician. I haven't spent my whole career in elective office. I've spent most of my life in the private sector. I'm a small businessman, a lifelong Marylander who loves the state of Maryland, and I really am just fed up with politics as usual in Annapolis, and I'm concerned about the direction that our state is heading. We've passed 40 consecutive tax hikes that have taken an additional $10 billion out of the pockets of struggling Maryland families and small businesses, and it's crushed our economy. We've lost 8,000 businesses. Unemployment has doubled. 200,000 Marylanders are out of work. We're third in the nation in foreclosures. We've had zero economic growth, and sadly, our state economy ranks 49th out of 50 states. And the thing that bothers me the most, if that wasn't bad enough, we've had the largest mass exodus of taxpayers fleeing our state of any state in the Mid-Atlantic region, and one of the worst in the nation. And a recent poll said nearly half of all Marylanders want to leave the state. That breaks my heart, and it's something I really want to try to turn around. So I've decided to step up and try to do something about it.
All right, let's ask you some questions. Your lawmakers 2 years ago, you know this, passed the Stormwater Management Watershed Restoration Program. We in the media have called it the rain tax, and among many residents in the county, the tax relief hasn't been well received. What would you do with this rain tax? Keep it alive, repeal it? What would you do?
Well, 3.5 years ago, I started a group called Change Maryland, which is a nonpartisan citizen organization. It's the largest one in state history. We have 117,000 people involved. Half of them are Democrats and independents. And we led the fight against the rain tax. In fact, I believe we coined the term rain tax. It passed as a stormwater management fee. We started calling it the rain tax. It got national attention. We got tens of thousands of people involved in fighting the issue. This administration wants to blame all the problems in the Chesapeake Bay on the rain that falls on the roof of the homes of struggling Maryland taxpayers. We think there's a lot more to it than that. This administration has drained $1.3 billion out of the environmental trust funds. That's a much bigger problem than the rain that's falling on our house. I can tell you we've had 40 taxes in a row. Some of them are much more onerous and take more money out of people's pockets, but this is the one that has people the most upset. Everywhere I go, every single day, people say, are you going to do something about this rain? It's just the unfairness of it. We're the only state in the nation that taxes the rain. And I can tell you that an overwhelming majority of Marylanders, regardless of their party affiliation, want to see us do away with this, and we're going to do everything we can to repeal the rain tax.
All right, we have about 2 minutes. Let's talk about jobs now. July jobs numbers were out, and the unemployment rate surpassed the 6% mark, on par with the U.S. rate now of 9,000 jobs lost in a number of key sections here. Jobs, how do you get us back to work?
Well, it's really a huge problem here, and as I mentioned earlier, we've doubled unemployment under the O'Malley Brown administration. 200,000 Marylanders are out of work. That's simply unacceptable. Our state economy ranks 49th out of 50 states. We should be number one. There's really three basic problems. My group's focused on these economic issues like a laser beam for 3.5 years. We held a business summit on improving Maryland's economic competitiveness, and we brought together 400 business leaders, economists, think tanks, and representatives of the federal, state, and local government, both parties, and we talked about what can we do to fix this problem. It's really three things. One, we have an anti-business attitude here in Maryland. CEO magazine says we're 41st out of 50 states in business friendliness. That can change on day one with the new governor, who's going to be focused on, we're going to be unabashedly pro-business. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to help Maryland businesses grow and create more opportunities and more jobs for our citizens. We're going to try to attract more businesses to come to Maryland rather than leaving Maryland. And we've got to roll back our regulatory policies are very cumbersome, unpredictable, constantly changing, and they're burdensome. So people say to me, we moved our business to Virginia and we got everything approved in 90 days that we couldn't get done in 3 years in Maryland. It was just impossible. We've got to fix that, and we can do that in the executive branch. And lastly, it's our tax policy. We're the fourth highest tax state in the nation, and businesses are making economic decisions, so they're leaving. And when the business leaves, it's the people in Maryland that suffer. It's not just the owner of that business that moved his business to Virginia. It's the tens of thousands of Marylanders who lost their job.
You've been listening to Larry Hogan, who's the Republican candidate for governor. Thank you for joining us on Democracy 2014.
Thank you.